September 23rd on NBC.
With big coverage of the day's big stories and Central Florida's most accurate forecast, this is WESH-2 News at 11 in high definition.
Tonight,
there's nothing that I'm not telling nobody.
new video as Misty Crosland Cummings takes a series of lie detector tests.
I told everybody everything that I know.
Tests she reportedly failed miserably. Plus, the spread of swine flu. More possible cases turn up at local schools. Cops say a Florida pastor faked his own kidnapping for unholy reasons. New evidence surfaces in the middle of the woods in the search for Tracy Ocasio. A child kidnapped 18 years ago turns up today at a police station. And it may be up to you to get the fountain working again at Lake Eola. WESH-2 News at 11 starts right now.
I'm 17 years old. What do you think? Like, come on. How much can a 17-year-old take?
Big coverage of the big story tonight. New videotape of Misty Crosland's lie detector testing. Good evening. I'm Jim Payne.
And I'm Martha Sagowski. Crosland was the last person to see Haley Cummings alive before she disappeared from her Putnam County home back in February.
As for the results of these tests, not looking good.
WESH-2's Kendra Astrike looked over all the video, and Kendra, at least one person is saying she failed these tests miserably.
That's right, Martha. And Misty Crosland Cummings wanted to clear her name in Haley's disappearance, but the experts who gave her the series of 3 tests say she may have done even more damage with deceptive answers.
Because I didn't have nothing to do with her. I love that little girl more than anything. Would never hurt her. If I knew who her, I would tell.
But experts say Misty Crosland Cummings' tears don't hide her lies. This is a voice analysis stress test, and she appears to be lying about Haley Cummings and how her stepdaughter vanished in February.
Do you know anything about her going missing?
Nothing at all about Haley going missing.
Cummings was caring for Haley the night she disappeared. She says she woke up around 3 a.m. The back door was open and Haley was gone. Misty points the finger, even at her own family.
Like, I keep hearing a lot of stuff about my brother. I mean, I have no idea if he done something to her. I don't know if he took her.
But the analyst giving the test calls her out on her inconsistent stories.
I can see it. There's things going on with you about Haley going missing that you know about that you're not telling anybody.
There's nothing that I'm not telling nobody.
Tim Miller from Texas Equisearch says Misty reached out to him for help to find the little girl and clear her name. So he paid for the experts to conduct the test, which Miller says she failed miserably, answering most honestly when asked if she knew who took Haley.
There was 2 or more other people involved. So when Haley was actually taken out of the house, she really doesn't know which one took her to her final destination.
Misty says she expects tough times ahead.
Like, lived in cars, had drug addicts as parents. My life has been bad, my whole life. And just not gonna get better, it looks like.
And when broken down into percentages, some of Misty's answers from her lie detector test indicate a 99% deception, including, do you know what happened to Haley? Putnam County investigators say they've known all along that Misty has been hiding something. They've subpoenaed these tapes. Live in the newsroom, Kendra Astrike, WESH-2 News.
Not everyone is buying the results of these latest tests. Among them, Ronald Cummings' own grandmother, who thinks the test is a big scam.
Family side of the story is find Haley. That's all we want. Find
Haley. They're implicating Misty at this point.
Find Haley. When you find Haley, you'll find out who took her. And Misty had nothing to do with it.
Take a look and decide for yourself. You can see Misty's recorded accounts on our website. Just go to WESH.com.
New evidence discovered in the search for missing Tracy Ocasio. A boot was discovered in the woods near the intersection of Bluford Avenue and West Colonial. One of Tracy's closest friends tells WESH-2 News she is 99% sure the boot belongs to Tracy. Investigators are now testing DNA. Ocasio was last seen in May leaving a bar in Metro West with James Hadaway. He remains the only person of interest in her disappearance. One woman is dead following a crash on a ramp onto I-4 today. Troopers say 29-year-old Coretta Mitchell of Deltona lost control of her car as she was getting onto the interstate from the 417. She was pronounced dead at ORMC.
Covering Orange County, deputies arrest a man they say raped his 18-year-old developmentally disabled stepdaughter. A school bus driver says he overheard the girl tell another student she was raped. The bus driver told the school's principal, who called police. We are not naming the suspect to protect the identity of that girl. Fire destroys an Orange County home overnight. Dr. Thomas Barnes was on his boat off Merritt Island. When he got the call, his Maitland home was up in flames. He rushed home to find it destroyed. Either lightning or an electrical problem may be to blame.
Tropical storm Danny is holding its own tonight.
But the storm seems to be changing its path a little.
Now, Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi has more on where it's headed now.
Instead of moving west, it's now moving more northwest, and there's a good reason for that. That upper low now, east of New Orleans, is beginning to pick this one up and move it off to the north and east. Tremendous amount of wind shear tonight, so this one is going to be hard-pressed now, hard-pressed to see that activity continue to increase as it moves forward northward. And as we take a look at the wave heights at this hour, you're going to see that at this hour, wave heights are increasing 4 to 6 foot seas right now along Daytona Beach down towards Cocoa Beach in Melbourne. We'll talk more about the seas and the dangerous rip currents, Jim, expected through the weekend. Straight ahead.
Tony, thanks. 5 more Orange County students are now being treated as if they have swine flu. 17 students from 13 different schools are being treated. 2 students at Maitland Middle, 1 each at Dover Shores and Pershing Elementaries. A student scheduled to attend Odyssey Middle School is ill but hasn't been to class yet this school year. Meantime, Orange County's confirming its 6th swine flu death. A 50-year-old woman has died from the H1N1 complications. While pre-existing health conditions normally play a role, the health department did not say this woman had any adverse health conditions before contracting the virus.
Covering Seminole County, the bears are coming out of the bushes. More and more bears are coming right out of the open. Look at this. Some are walking right into garages and raiding refrigerators there. Residents are asked to bring in pet food and bird seed and not take out the trash too early. One more reminder, it is illegal to feed a bear in Florida. And this just out of Seminole County. Police and deputies arrest 2 men tonight in the parking lot of a church in Altamont Springs after they got a tip that there might be some stealing going on from several grocery stores. Among the items lifted, prime beef, beer, and diapers.
Covering Sumter County, the Burmese python that suffocated a 2-year-old actually belonged to the girl's mother. WESH-TV reporting the exclusive information. Investigators originally said the python belonged to Charles Darnell, but later learned it belonged to the victim's 19-year-old mom, Jaron Hare. We've also learned Cheyenne Hare's mother and her boyfriend were warned by DCF that if they continued to smoke pot in front of the little girl, they risked losing her. One more night on the launch pad for the Space Shuttle Discovery.
NASA delaying the launch because of a problem with the fuel valve while getting the shuttle ready.
Now, WESH-TV space expert Dan Billow looks at how NASA is working out the problem in hopes of a launch tomorrow.
The problem engineers are working on day and night here is in the engine compartment of the shuttle, a fuel valve that has to work to keep it safe for the astronauts. When the sun went down at the launch pad, there were still some at work in Kennedy Space Center offices and in the Launch Control Center. Discovery had been almost ready to launch, but not quite. Engineers know that a fuel valve in the shuttle is working now, but the sensor that tells them if it's open or closed is suspect. It may not work when the time comes. Mission managers ordered an extra day of study just to think about that.
We want to make sure we really do understand that there's not some other mechanism that we're not quite smart enough to think of yet that wouldn't be affecting us, that might fake us out on some of these other signatures.
The astronauts are at risk here. If the valve is slightly out of position, the risk of fire or explosion is higher. So even though time is running out on a Sunday deadline to get the shuttle off the ground, even though launch was delayed Monday by rain, even though it was called off Tuesday by the valve problem, mission managers are looking for a solution they call bulletproof, a way to make sure there are no leaks, because they can't trust that sensor.
We are not going to be able to prove the valve is truly closed. We're going to have extremely high confidence that it is closed, and so we want to talk about the unknowns there and the risk there of being wrong.
Mission managers will meet at noon to see if overnight the engineers have come up with that bulletproof solution. If so, they'll give the go to fill the fuel tank again. At the Kennedy Space Center, Dan Billow, WESH-TV News.
Third time's the charm. NASA hopes to launch Discovery tomorrow night at a minute before midnight. Dan will be covering the launch that you can watch right here on WESH-TV and on our website at WESH.com.
Looked like it was a good idea at the time for a local dad fly his son to his first day of high school in a helicopter. Get a load of Bart Sutherland airlifting his son to school in Claremont. School officials weren't too wild about it. Neither was the FAA. The feds decided, though, he didn't break any laws, so he won't be fined. The school board might actually come up with rules about flying to school.
A local 911 operator is fired over a call that ended in a murder-suicide. Orlando police claim Alan Ballard made many mistakes in handling the call back in January. Police eventually found Loida Slowly shot 4 times in a downtown Orlando hotel. Her ex-boyfriend, James Clayton, was dead of a single gunshot on top of her. Among the findings, Ballard failed to notify a superintendent of the seriousness of the call and improperly handled the incident.
It might be up to you to help fix Orlando's iconic Lake Eola fountain. The seafoam green fountain hasn't sprayed water or lit up at night since lightning struck it last week. Mechanics say some of its aging circuits and pumps are fried beyond repair. The city has $1 million insurance policy on the fountain but can't afford the $500,000 deductible. The city is taking donations to help fix up the fountain.
Tricky fire in a high-rise today. Smoke pouring from the 4th floor of a 5-story building.
Check out the scene at the Sea Dip Resort in Daytona Beach. Firefighters found exposed wires, so power was cut to the entire building. It started in a kitchen. 2 cats in that unit were found dead. Damage is running at $12,000.
She admits it was all a lie. A Philadelphia woman pleads guilty to faking her own abduction as well as her daughter's. 38-year-old Bonnie Sweeten lied to police, saying men had kidnapped the pair when really she bought airline tickets to Disney World. She pulled the scam to escape financial problems and now faces jail time.
The body of Senator Ted Kennedy lies in repose tonight at the John F. Kennedy Museum in Boston. Thousands of people lined up to say goodbye to the man who became known as the Lion of the Senate. There will be a private ceremony tomorrow. Senator Kennedy's funeral will be on Saturday.
Senator Kennedy secretly called Florida home last winter.
Kennedy maintained a Key Biscayne residence so he could receive brain cancer treatments at the University of Miami. His stay was kept so secret that the media never knew an ambulance once visited his home. His Miami doctor says the Florida weather was better than New England for recovery.
A child kidnapped on her way to the bus stop 18 years ago simply walked into a police station today as an adult.
An amazing story that is giving others hope. Craig?
Others like Trenton Duckett's family. Trenton has been missing for exactly 3 years, and coming up, we'll tell you what investigators and family members discussed at this vigil. Jim?
Plus, why an animal rights activist is now at the center of an animal cruelty investigation. Guy?
One man trying to shed his animal cruelty label, Michael Vick. See his first snap as an Eagle tonight in the NFL. Plus, our first high school football action of the season. It's ahead in sports. Tony.
Guy, more rain moving back in off the Gulf, headed east. We'll let you know what that means for the morning commute. Martha, straight ahead.
And Tony, a Florida pastor, calls his wife to say he's been kidnapped. Turns out it was a big, fat lie. Wait till you find out who they found him with. Those stories and much more still to come right here on WESH-TV News at 11.
Hey everybody, we got a great show tonight with Mike Tyson, mentalist Keith Barry, and musical guest Modest Yahoo. Plus puppies as you've never seen them before. It's a big show coming up right after the news.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, wake up to breaking news, live traffic alerts, and your most accurate forecast.
I'm tracking 2 big storms. I'll tell you about the weather changes they'll bring to your neighborhood.
Plus, celebrating Jackie Robinson, how you can take part in a local tribute. Sunrise tomorrow.
Toyota of Orlando has your simple solution to car buying.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Kia.
This is 911. On Pioneer Boulevard, a wash zone. My daughter was just kidnapped. Top of the hill was a gray Ford. A man and a woman in the car.
That was 1991 when J.C. Dugard's stepfather watched the 11-year-old girl get put into a car on her way to the bus stop. And amazingly, just today, 18 years later, she walked into a police station in California telling officers she, in fact, is that kidnapped little girl.
The story gives hope to parents who have lost their children, more specifically, Trenton Duckett. And WESH 2's Craig Lucy found out tonight, just tonight, investigators were at a vigil for Trenton, hoping for new clues.
A night of song and prayer, exactly 3 years after Trenton Duckett disappeared. And 3 years later, with no new information and no major breaks in the case, they do have hope.
We will one day solve this case.
Trenton's disappearance in Leesburg in August of 2006 grabbed national headlines. Police quickly zeroed in on his mother, Melinda, after she started throwing away his baby pictures and acting strangely. She killed herself 2 weeks after Trenton's disappearance. His father, Joshua, says he still believes Trenton will come home.
We're staying positive. And
Joshua just finished working on a low-riding truck that says Team Trenton on the front and is covered with pictures of the missing.
Help keep the names, photos, and everything, not just Trenton, but every missing child.
And to see something like this with all of these children and people that have gone missing and passed away, it hits a spot for me.
Tonight, Trenton's father says the 18-year-old cold case in California that has just been solved proves miracles do happen. JC DeGard was kidnapped 18 years ago when she was 11. Wednesday, she walked into a police station saying, "I'm the girl who has been missing."
I mean, it goes to show that you should never give up and never quit searching and continue to move forward, because you never know when you're going to get that break.
We also talked to Jennifer Kessie's family about this kidnapping story. Jennifer's been missing for 3.5 years now, and her father says it's great to hear another success story, and it gives them hope too. Reporting in Lake County, Craig Lucy, WESH-2 News.
Orange County deputies expect to make more arrests after a chop shop bust at a storage center. Deputies say they caught 3 men red-handed taking apart stolen cars over on Dean Road in Lake Underhill. The investigation is ongoing.
Speaking of getting caught red-handed, a Florida pastor is feeling a bit of the same burn.
A little bit. Tampa police say Wickler Mora called his wife to say he had been kidnapped, but told her not to panic.
She called 911 anyway, and police traced his cell phone and found him with another woman. No. About 20 deputies were out looking for him. Faces charges of filing a false police report and the wrath of a woman scorned.
Oh, yeah.
She fights for animal rights, but her dog ended up dying after she left the hound in her car for too long. Robin Starr is the head of the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in Richmond, Virginia. Her husband apparently put her deaf and partially blind dog in the back of her station wagon and never told her before she left for work. The dog died after being left in the car in 90+ degree heat all day. Starr does not plan to resign from her position, saying she lost a family member to a mistake.
A tow truck driver caught a glimpse of something after hauling a car to the impound lot, and it's a good thing he did. Turns out there was a 1-year-old boy asleep in the back of the car he had just towed. The driver picked up the car from a Tampa apartment complex, and cops tracked down Dad, who's now charged with child neglect.
Tropical storm Danny is getting closer to Florida, much closer than Hurricane Bill, and it's showing on the Central Florida coastline right now. Bigger surf and more dangerous rip currents. Lifeguards are getting ready for a busy weekend full of rescues.
Folks need to be careful if they're going to head out there, Tony.
4 to 6 foot seas, just checked it right now. It's going to stay that way through tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be the roughest day. Weather this weekend looks good, and it looks like beach conditions improving except for the rips. Let me take you outside. More rain headed in to downtown Orlando from the southwest as we've been monitoring the progress of an area of low pressure in the northern Gulf. Pretty shot. Good work there in the back, guys. Let's go right to the radar, show you what it looks like right now. And as you can see, look at the motion. Southwest to northeast. Here's your downtown area. Some lighter rain showers over towards the Turnpike, I-4, and again on the east side of Orlando, probably right around the 417, just east of the theme parks there. So we'll watch that corridor if you're doing some late night traveling. Slow down, take it easy. Winter Haven over towards Bartow, Fort Meade, light rain showers through this corridor. You can see it building up towards the north and the east, weakening as it's approaching now Orlando, but plenty more rain off towards the south and the west. We're not done yet. Overnight tonight, Reddick, an inch of rain. Over towards Center Hill, an inch of rain. Sumterville, 0.75, and over towards Bushnell. So Sumter, Lake, Marion, and Polk County, that's the corridor that picked up a good chunk of the rain this afternoon and through the evening hours. It's going to spread northeastward overnight tonight. Overnight lows will only fall a few degrees from where we are, back into the low to mid 70s from Palm Coast down towards Palm Bay, westward to Kissimmee, over towards Claremont, and up towards the Leesburg corridor there. Look for lows 73, 74 to 75 degrees. There goes Danny. Very weak. As a matter of fact, the winds have been downgraded from 50 to 45, taking that northerly jaunt come tomorrow afternoon in response to this area of low pressure in the northeastern Gulf, which will move back towards the north and the east. And that has me concerned for the clouds and some leftover rain showers Friday night at 11:59. We're also watching the high seas as well. One of the components you watch for is the rocket recovery if need be. So that's just one of 3 aspects we're going to be watching for come tomorrow night. Upper below. Look at the wind shear out of the southwest to the northeast. Plenty of dry air on the south side of it. But this area of low pressure right here is what's going to kick in somewhat drier air by the time we head into the weekend. And outside of Danny, 94L trying to get a little bit organized tonight. Earlier today, there was 2 camps, one directly to the north, one due west. It's now more towards the west-northwest. The bottom line is this: plenty of time to watch 94L as we head through the next 7 to 14 days. All right, afternoon highs tomorrow. Plenty of clouds around, upper 80s to near 90 along the coast. Lower 90s from Orlando on south. Mid and upper 80s north and west. Complements of the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms getting going early in the day tomorrow. 7-day forecast, improving weather conditions Saturday and Sunday. Just be careful, Jim and Martha, for those of you headed to the beach.
Tony, thanks. A new local high school sees its very first football game ever.
And the Michael Vick sideshow moves to center stage in Philly.
First new school, Lake Nona, seeing and starting their football tradition tonight. And Vic restarts his pro football career in Philadelphia. Highlights next. You're watching WESH 2 News in HD.
WESH 2 weather brought to you by Toyota of Orlando on West Colonial Drive.
Hey folks, Tom Park, and here at Toyota of Orlando, we make it simple to shop at your pace.
Their hours are wide open. I'm an early guy. I like to go in early. They were open early.
Toyota of Orlando has your simple solution to car buying. Whether you buy today or simply test drive one of the over 500 available new Toyotas, shop at your pace. You decide. And to make it real simple, we stay open extended hours till 10:30 p.m.
At Toyota of Orlando, they keep it real simple.
Toyota of Orlando on West Colonial, keeping it simple.
Folks, welcome to Kia Camelot on Merritt Island, where your car shopping dreams always come true.
In Camelot, we have a huge selection of extra value deals, and we'll always give you more for your trade-in.
Where?
Bob Dance, where everybody rides.
Advanced severe weather warnings are critical.
Be connected to life-saving alerts with this weather radio from WESH 2 and Winn-Dixie. WESH 2 is donating $2 of each purchase to help our local Red Cross this storm season. Get your weather radio at Winn-Dixie today.
You Local on WESH.com. Showcase your pictures and your video to the entire WESH 2 community. Capture the day's big story, and it could even end up on WESH 2 News. You Local on WESH.com. Upload your big story today.
If you thought rays could only fly underwater, think again. This is Manta, SeaWorld's all-new flying coaster. You'll soar head down, face first, and sky high. There's only one like it, and only one place to fly it. Manta, only in Orlando, and only at SeaWorld.
Welcome to Kia Camelot, 08 Sedona LX, 10-year 100,000-mile warranty. Grace, what's the bottom line?
That's only $8,900.
Bring us your trade-in worth $3,000. Where?
Bob Dance, where everybody rides.
A busy day for Eagles quarterback Michael Vick, mobbed by reporters after his appearance at bankruptcy court in Virginia, then flew back to Philadelphia, where he played in his first NFL game in over 2 seasons. The 3-time Pro Bowler spent 18 months in prison on federal dogfighting charges. And sees a mix of cheers and jeers as he takes the field with his new team hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight. He came in for the second offensive snap of the game, a shovel pass on the quarterback option. The Eagles shuttled Vick in and out for 6 plays throughout the first half. Jacksonville's David Garrard finds a receiver inside the one. UCF's Asante Samuel knocks his block off, causes the fumble, but Torrey Holt picks it up and scores. Later, Donovan McNabb from the 8 looking to his back for a lateral. LaShawn McCoy can't handle it, and Brian Ewa picks it up and takes off. 92 yards for another Jags touchdown, but Philly comes back to win in the end, 33-32. Rain delay in Tampa Bay for the Finns and Bucks. The fourth quarter just beginning, Miami leading 10-6. New high school Lake Nona playing their first football game ever, a kickoff classic against Citrus. Kevin Sousa throws one up. Josh Sullivan, go get it. A 45-yard pitch and catch for the school's first ever touchdown. They get bashed in the end, 49-14. But hey, had to show the very first score, right? For more high school fun, log on to highschoolplaybook.com. Donald Foyle's middle name is David, but if it wasn't, Boomerang would be a good choice. The Magic tossed him to Memphis last February as part of the Rafer Alston deal. Then he was back in Orlando by late March. The Magic re-signing the free agent center who played in 10 games last season. I've heard of Daddy Yankee, but Granny Yankee? New York enjoying the best record in the bigs, taking on Texas. Yanks up 1-0 in the fourth. Pitcher A.J. Burnett sends one right down Main Street, and Ian Kinsler makes him pay. A 3-run shot. Rangers up 3-1. 3-2 in the seventh. Pitcher Phil Koch serves one up to Chris Davis. Another 3-run shot. Kinsler adds another homer in the eighth as Texas wins 7-2, taking the series at Yankee Stadium. Tiger Woods won 2 of his last 3 tournaments, though the one he dropped was a doozy. Losing the PGA Championship after holding a final round lead. Today starting the PGA playoffs at the Barclays. The tournament held at Liberty National in New Jersey in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. The top 100 from this week will advance to the Deutsche Bank Championship. Woods playing in the FedEx Cup opener for the first time. Started on 10. Carded a 1-under par 70 with 2 birdies and a bogey, but he's 5 strokes off the pace set by Paul Goydos, Steve Marino, and Sergio Garcia. He's got a little work to do, beginning with round 2 tomorrow.
Love that shot with the Statue of Liberty in the background.
It is very pretty, isn't it?
It's really cool.
Right across the river.
Thanks, Guy.
Hundreds of people, a lot of plastic, and a whole bunch of water.
An attempt to break a world record.
We'll show it to you, plus we'll have your wake-up weather when we come right back.
WESH-2 weather brought to you by Lexus of Orlando.
The Lexus.
Well, they suited up, they slid down, but they came up dry. 235 students and some adults in there in Missouri attempted to break the world slip and slide record. I didn't even know there was a record.
That's just lame. Look at that. No dice, despite the 575-foot-long slide. They're not even sliding. The officials from the Guinness Book of World Records say the group came up short on people and water needed to break the current record.
Lame.
Not to mention the...
No fun.
That's just not
It's
good.
like they're crawling. They're just...
Come on, people of Missouri, you can do better.
That probably had to hurt.
Show me state.
Crawling on that plastic.
What are you talking about?
Bust down tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at that forecast. A few showers north and east. Sunrise 702. Lunchtime 88. Late day storms.
Latest on the third attempt to launch Discovery and swine flu concerns sweeping through local schools on WESH-2 News Sunrise.
WESH-2 News always on at WESH.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Welcome to Hyundai Camelot, your #1 volume Hyundai dealer, where your car shopping dreams always come true.
In Camelot, we have a huge selection of extra value deals, and we'll always give you more for your trade-in.
Where?
Bob Dance, where everybody rides.
One small town is about